Well, I think we both like cooking, but when we live here in Delhi, we really don't cook much together. But when we go home to Norway on vacation, we will share it, so that I normally cook the fish and my wife cook the rest.
And also when the children, we have 4 children, when they were growing up, I did all the cooking basically, except on a Saturday.
I can tell you actually that we must be one of the oldest fish exporting countries in the world, and we have always had a very strict focus on the quality of export, because to keep up the reputation. So the first quality regulations in the world you had in Norway in 1444, when the king issued regulations for quality control of dried cod.
When someone is invited to the Norwegian embassy or residence, they expect to have salmon on the menu. So that's what we do now. We will always have 4 courses for an official dinner, and 2 of the courses can be vegetarian, for example a soup and a vegetable starter or something. And then what we do is salmon in many different ways.
Very big lover of dal in all kind of variations. I always have to have dal when I travel around and try to see also regional differences.
Chicken tikka is one of the favorites, but on the savory side I like basically everything. Sarson sag I like a lot, very much.
I'll tell you, the best meal I've had in my life was when we celebrated our 10th anniversary at the top restaurant in outside Brussels. The great thing with Norway, and also what is the basis of our cooking, is that it's very short distance to the sea. We have and the climate is fairly cold, which means that it's easier to keep the food fresh, and that means that the whole philosophy in the Norwegian cooking also, for instance when it comes to fish, since we are going to cook that now, is that you should taste the fish.
But I suggest that we go and prepare some Norwegian food. What do you think?
Indeed.
Yeah. So this recipe, the first one that we're going to do, so what you do is you take your ready prepared pancake, and you will have pre-mixed some cream cheese. Make sure it's soft so that it's easy to spread onto the pancake. You just do like this. Then you take your smoked salmon, sliced, I think usually it's already bought sliced, and you lay it on your pancake, and then you start to roll it up like this. Then you just simply cut them up. And here you are. So just add a little bit of dill, and this is how it's made.
So what I'll do today is that we will have a recipe, being in India and it's mango season and everything. We'll combine salmon and mangoes. What I will now do is that I will bake it in the oven, a bit of olive oil. Then you just take the fillets of salmon and put them on top of a bit of olive oil. One important thing when you cook then is to have a bit of salt and a bit of pepper on it, on the fish before you cook it, because that lifts the taste. Salmon is a very easy fish to cook. You just leave it in the oven for 7 minutes at 170 degrees. But although it's a very easy fish to cook, you can destroy the fish also if you really pays attention to destroying it. And that you do if you overcook it. Cook it too long, because if you cook it too long, it loses all this very fresh taste it had, it dries up, and it's not very exciting. So 170 degrees in 7 minutes and you get the perfect fish out, I'll show you. So the mangoes first, then we have avocado, and then we have a bit of spring onion. And of course this is India, we have to have something which really spices it up, so it's a bit of chili. And then the last thing we have is coriander. Then we add a bit of salt to it. We are making a then olive oil, and then we also have an additional thing, same amount of lemon juice. The thing we do is that we mix all of this together. So what I do is I take one piece of fish like this, okay? Then I also have a bit of chopped up dill. You don't need it, but it's nice. And then what we do is that this is now the nice things I take it with, a bit on one side, a bit on the other side. So here we should have a perfect reunion of Norwegian fish, perfect Indian mango. And you know, when it's hot outside, this is actually a perfect summer dish. Please enjoy.
Probably the most difficult part of this dish is getting your cling foil, especially if it's one of these big ones like this. You have to actually lay your salmon on it. What we're doing now is a dish called Gravlax. What we use is fresh salmon fillet. When I say fresh, normally it's frozen and on the spot in Norway and then sent out to different countries, including India. So put that on your fillet. Then you take your other half. You do the same with that one. Now, you have a bit of a choice here. Today we're doing the simplest form. We're adding dill. You could also add a little bit of vodka, splash over a bit of vodka. You can add sliced lemons if you want. You can even add some sliced beetroot and it becomes a bright red. But today we're using dill, salt and sugar. That's it. And then we wrap. So what we do is we would put this in the fridge for 3 days. So after the 48 hours, or you take 3 days, let's say, so you put it on a board, it's ready. When it's coming out of the fridge, you don't have to put it in the oven. It's ready to eat. You take it and then you cut it thinly. But what we do in Norway is make a honey mustard sauce. So you take a few tablespoons of mustard and then you just put in a little bit of honey. Then mix it. Now, if you want to make it really quite pretty, you don't just serve it this way with a spoon to help yourself. You can pipe it on. So that's the final product, almost final product.